Back in 2000, 22 years ago, Ridley Scott's historical film Gladiator was released. The story of this film began back in the 70s, when David Franzoni started working on the script. But in those years, large-scale historical films were not popular among producers, and the script was left lying idle. But when Franzoni met Spielberg, they agreed to make 3 films based on Franzoni's scripts at Spielberg's studio. It was precisely at that point that the Gladiator script came in handy. The producers needed not just any director, but the one who could create a real ancient Rome, since the film was supposed to be not only a high-budget action film, but also a psychological drama. Since directors of this caliber are rare, the producers invited Ridley Scott to be the director. Initially, Scott did not like the script at all and was going to turn it down. But 2 very important factors came into play here. First of all, it was not the best times for the director's career. Ridley Scott had not been making good movies for some time. Secondly, the budget of the film was $100 million, and Ridley Scott liked large-scale filming. Initially, Mel Gibson was considered for the main role, but the actor refused the offer. According to one version, he believed that he did not fit the character's age. Also, among the candidates for the role were such actors as Antonio Banderas and Hugh Jackman. In the end, Russell Crowe, who was gaining popularity, got it, and he had the necessary masculinity and charisma. The actor also showed great meticulousness in his work. He was interested in all aspects of the story and the personality of his character. If he did not get answers from Ridley Scott to the questions that worried him, he could easily leave the set. And naturally, with this kind of attitude, Crowe was terribly nervous about the fact that the script seemed to be in never-ending revisions. But such difficulties during the filming fully justified themselves. The role in Gladiator was one of the best in Crowe's career and earned him an Oscar. When Scott offered the role of Emperor Commodus to 25-year-old Joaquin Phoenix, he was shocked. Until then, Phoenix played only modern guys, so he could not even imagine himself in the image of the Roman dictator. But the director felt that the actor could portray the complex combination of guile, weakness, depravity, and demonic courage, which is represented by Commodus. And Scott was right. The key female role was played by Danish actress Connie Nielsen, whom Scott distinguished for her sense of special aristocratism and intelligence. It is also noteworthy that the film was the last in the career of the great British actor Oliver Reed, who died because of a heart attack during filming. The script was revised more than 10 times. The final version has nothing in common with the script created in 1997. It would have been a completely different movie. While preparing to shoot, Ridley Scott visited many historical places in Italy, France, England. Interestingly, upon visiting the real Colosseum, Scott noted its rather small size. Therefore, developing a scenery model, he increased the actual size of the structure almost twice as much. To film the initial battle, catapults of actual size and weighing about a ton were built. The projectile launched from it hit at a distance of 140 meters, although, according to historical data, the real catapult shot at a distance of 250 to 300 meters. The filming of Gladiator took place from January to May 1999 in 3 main locations. First, the opening battle episodes were filmed in the German forests. The crew worked on them for 3 weeks in England. Another 3 weeks of filming were spent near the town of Ouarzazate in Morocco. The locations were suitable for the scene in the desert, and some sets were built here, including a brick provincial amphitheater. And finally, the team worked on the Roman episodes in Malta. Here, a fort named Ricasoli was used, and the entire ancient town with markets, statues, colonnades, and the lower part of the Colosseum was recreated. The Colosseum was built according to a scheme which has since become a Hollywood standard. A real base, about 16 meters high, and a computer-drawn virtual top, about 30 meters, with virtual spectators were built by set designers. This helped to shoot close-ups and medium shots without any expensive effects, and to show the scope of the Colosseum in general plans, which was difficult to provide in reality. For the grand battle scene at the beginning of the movie, the catapults and giant crossbows had to be virtually multiplied, because in reality, there were only 2 copies of each on the set. For close-up shots, arrows in the air were added. For general ones, warriors and their weapons, fires, explosions and smoke were duplicated. The battle involved quite a small crowd of 500 people. Of course, when inviting the reenactors, no one expected them to bring their own armor and weapons. All of this had to be not only invented, but also produced, sometimes by hand, and then handed out to members of the crowd, making sure that the props were returned to their places at the end of the shooting. And since the most sprawling scenes involved hundreds and even thousands of people, instead of your ordinary costume room, on the set of Gladiator, there was an actual tent-like costume village. One of the most spectacular scenes in the film, Maximus's fight with the Gladiator champion and the tigers, is an example of the subtle combination of visual and practical effects. The episode involved 5 Bengal tigers that were controlled by a tamer and a stuffed animal. The role of the wolf accompanying Maximus in the battle scene with the Germans was played by a German shepherd. I've had a lot of physical activity before, but this time it was too much. Russell Crowe said in an interview, "You know, I never thought about what I would have to go through when I agreed to this role. And in the middle of filming, I began to wish I had agreed to play the bus conductor." The task of replacing an actor digitally was unusual for the creators of special effects. There was almost no such practice in the world cinema at that time. Scott did not want to reshoot the scenes with the late Oliver Reed with another actor, preferring a different solution. The character's fate was changed. Doubles and digital technology were brought in to recreate the actor for about 2 minutes of screen time. The film was first shown on the 1st of May 2000 in Los Angeles. North American distribution began 4 days later, and 2 weeks later the film was released in Europe. Gladiator won 5 of the 12 Oscar nominations, including Best Picture, Best Actor, Russell Crowe, Best Costumes, Best Sound and Best Visual Effects. The film also grossed $457 million at the box office, with a budget of $103 million. And that is all for today, guys. Subscribe to our channel and don't forget about likes and comments. Good luck, everyone!